And I would say one last thing. I know this man, Marvin Rees, has a great career ahead of him. He's a fantastic young guy, and I wish him well.
So I'm going to say a little, I just knocked this together a few minutes ago, a little something I prepared earlier. I'm just reminded, I think it was John Wesley said that if you're going to speak for more than 10 minutes, you either need to be an angel or speaking to angels. So I know some angels over here, I don't know about over here. I'm not an angel, I'm with you, don't worry about that. So I start just by saying I just have to give my thanks, and I can't name names because I'll be here forever. But obviously I need to thank the police and thank the returning officer. I need to thank those people that voted for me as well. It's an incredible personal journey you go on when you actually put yourself out there in the public eye and say, here I am, do you want what I've got? So I thank those voters, and I thank also the volunteers who worked so hard on our campaign. I've shared a number of times how I've been told by someone to stop saying it was humbling. But it was the only word it's the only word I have. Because when you see people doing things, walking in the rain, knocking on doors, putting themselves out, missing their families, there are never going to be enough words to say thank you for what you've done. You can never make up, you can't write enough thank you cards. I haven't got enough money to buy people presents. All you can do is just say that general thank you and hope that you understand that I really mean it. And when I say it's humbling, I really mean it. And that my words have substance to them when I put that to you. I'd say just a few reflections on my experience here. I think partly that this is just democracy. This is just the way it works. And I've shared with some friends as I've got more involved my reflection that, you put yourself out there. You say this is what I believe in, living wage, social housing, tackling inequality, affordable public transport. You say these things. You try to talk about what it means to change politics. That is about bringing a wider range of people from a wider range of socioeconomic backgrounds to the decision-making tables. Not just through the usual class routes, but from right across Bristol. And then you say, do you want it? Sometimes people say no. That's just where we are today. And I'm on the end of the no today. But it is about respecting the decision that Bristol has made. I'd say too, I was thinking last night about whether to win or lose. And I said to my guys, actually, I think, well, it's for you to judge, I suppose. But I thought actually my losing speech was better than anyone that might win. I said, I was given a talk a few weeks ago, and I was talking to some young kids, and there's a whole class dynamic to it, but there were a young number of black and mixed race and Asian kids, all who are on the lower end of our educational attainment and so forth. And my statement to them from my position running was, have your aspiration, go for it. Don't let people put you down. When I was growing up, a number of people said, you're not going to be anything. Push forward. Have some aspiration for yourself and your communities. Have some aspiration of what you can be. Don't just be a community leader. Go and be chief economist of the World Bank. But what I said to them was, if you have some aspiration, buckle up, because you are going to fail. Yeah? Failure comes with a life of aspiration when you're trying things. I failed today, but what I'm hoping is that story... Wait. We didn't win. But what I'm saying is, what I would love to do is go back to my old school and say, do you know what? That just comes with the territory. You put yourself out there, and sometimes you don't make it. But what do you do next? That's the real challenge. I don't mean that to be fluff or any off-the-hand cliche. It's not. But it is what it is. It is where it stands, and that's what it's about. So I'm hoping that even just this journey, and even there's a greater good in my not achieving this today, so that people can see that we keep going. And I would say within that as well, it means that it's not all about defeat. We use words. Ben Oakley said, when things are put into words, they descend. And that's one of the problems we have in trying to communicate. We can't express our deepest desires and insights in words because they're limited. But there's something about defeat that is not an absolute loss in this situation. I went for a run this morning because I was a bit late. I didn't get a phone call. And I was running back through Rawnsley Park. Now picture this. Rawnsley House is identified as a place that some people suspect has become a dumping ground. It's at the bottom of my road for people with addictions problems and mental health problems. At the top you have Twinnell House. Some people say the same. As I ran through the park, two young Somali boys said to me, "Are you Marvin?" Are you running for mayor? I voted for you. First time I've ever voted. Yeah? It's not all about what the result was. It's about, have we managed to engage more people in this discussion, this dialogue? And it's part of my frustration about the language that has been doing down politics. Because my younger 18-year-old brother, if he comes home and says to me, I'm not getting involved because it's all a waste of time, you're all the same as each other, he's disenfranchised if he then doesn't go and vote. We need to take some responsibility with the way we talk and report on politics. Remember, the most vulnerable people need politics to work for them. And if you do it down and they withdraw, you leave it up to the same old people who have been making a mess of politics, not just for the last few years and not just within Bristol, but around the world, for people like me and people who come from backgrounds like mine. And I just share, finally, just my vision of what maybe the task is to take on. We said from the start that when we came to this election, we didn't just want to come up with a collection, a shopping list of issues that everyone would talk about, transport. You want to have a proper worldview, a proper framework you bring to the table that shapes the way you approach these key challenges facing Bristol. And this is what I offer you. So the future, you take it or not, George, if you want. Going into the future. 3 components of making Bristol a prosperous, caring, working, thriving city. 1 is to have a proper city vision. What do we want to be as a city? And a plan to deliver that vision. We've been ping-ponging off of little awards and stuff all over the place for the last, I don't know how long. So nothing's ever had traction in people's lives. That's been one of the frustrations. Let's get a vision on Bristol. Where does it want to be and how's it going to get there? The second is tackling poverty and inequality. If you're not talking about tackling poverty and inequality, then you're building for a future city that will be unstable. And I think we saw the results of that somewhat last summer. It's the key policy tool. Nothing else is going to be good enough. And whether we're talking about housing, salaries, whatever, we have to be thinking about how we deal with the fractures, the race, the class, the economic opportunity fractures that have cut the integrity out from Bristol's history. And I say the third thing is about engagement. And I unapologetically now, because I don't have to be so careful with my words necessarily, I unapologetically say engagement is about getting people, like when I leave my house on Stapleton Road and walk up and stand here today, that's what we're talking about in engagement. It's about people who think that politics has got nothing to do with them, people who have lost faith, not those people who can buy themselves out of the consequences of bad politics, but those people who are dependent on good politics, getting to the decision-making table. If we can get those 3 building blocks in place, then I think we'll have some hope in the city. If we can't, then we'll be what we were last year. Thank you.
Marvin.